What do you do when you decide to make a movie in one of the most oversaturated genres to ever grace the silver screen? Well, in 2019, this is a question that the production company The Asylum asked themselves. They did Sharknado, and they came up with what I can only describe as a stroke of genius. And that was, what if it was a zombie movie, but there was also a tsunami for some reason? And just like that, the rest is history, and we were graced with a movie that is by far the worst zombie movie I've ever seen in my life, Zombie Tidal Wave. I've had this movie in my notes for the past 3 years, and it was originally noted down as Zombie Tsunami, which is something that has puzzled me ever since because I have looked far and wide, and I could not find a single piece of evidence that ever tied the name Zombie Tsunami back to this movie. Apparently, it's always been named Zombie Tidal Wave. The only piece of evidence I ever found was this one, Japanese poster that said Zombie Tsunami on it. So unless this was the Japanese release of this movie, I don't really know many other zombie movies that would also include a tsunami in it, so I can only assume by the powers of deduction that it is the same movie, it was just the Japanese release. There is no other evidence that it was Zombie Tsunami. So I don't know where I got that from. Anyway, that is the movie that we're going to be looking at today, and you better strap in because this one is really bad. It's a bad movie. This movie has a 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb, so you already kind of know what you're in for, but let's read the synopsis anyway. And this synopsis is a long one, so I hope you're sitting down. A fisherman contends with an ocean-borne outbreak that threatens his seaside island community. That's the whole synopsis. Nothing about a tsunami, nothing about a tidal wave, just an ocean-borne outbreak that threatens the entire seaside community. Okay, yeah. Cool. And the tagline for this movie is, "Landfall means our downfall." How long did it take them to come up with that one? 10 seconds? I could think of a better tagline for the movie. I hope you packed your floaties and gun because it's a goddamn zombie tidal wave. See, man, hey, Asylum, if you guys need help writing your next movie, hit me up, dude. The movie opens on the ocean, and we dive in and we see, what is this? A blue crack in the sea floor? What the hell? What's down there? Is it blue 4? Is this what happens when you put all the food coloring in the ocean? We are then introduced to two characters in the water, a man and a woman. They're giggling, they're having fun in the water, and the man thinks to himself, you know what? What better time to propose to my lovely girlfriend than right here in the middle of the ocean? So he pulls out a ring and he proposes to her. My first question, where the hell was he keeping that ring? Do his trunks have pockets? I sure hope so. I didn't see a box with the ring. They're out in the middle of the ocean. He must have secured it to something. He must have put it in something to make sure it didn't float away. You know what? You know what? I don't need the answers to that. It's fine. So he gives her the ring. She gets all giddy, puts it on her finger, only halfway. Guess they're going to have to take it to the jewelers to get resized. Just on the tip of her finger. Oh my God, yes, I do. What is this, a ring for Thumbelina? Why is this so small? What the? And right before he asks her the question, will you marry me? He gets pulled underwater. Oh my God, who could have done that? What could have just pulled him under the water? A zombie? A tidal wave? Who knows? And then out of nowhere, a blue zombie comes up behind her and eats her. What an opening, I tell you what. I do have a single question though. How the hell did he just stand up and eat her like that? How did he do that? Are they in 2 feet of water? Seems like she could have just stood up and walked away. I don't know. Was he on one of those water jetpack things? Was that the second coming of Christ? Why was he blue? These are all great questions. We are then hit with the title screen, Zombie Tidal Wave, and it looks nothing like the posters. The title screen looks nothing like the posters, different font, kind of weird. Anyway, but before we go any further, this video is sponsored by War Thunder. You can take command of over 2,500 tanks, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, ranging from biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to fighter jets and main battle tanks of today. And with in-depth customization, you can create countless camouflages, historical markings, and decorations for all types of vehicles. Not only is it available for free on PC and consoles, but War Thunder now has an all-new mobile version available on iOS and Android, allowing you to take the battlefield to wherever you go. This bad boy has intuitive controls, impressive graphics, and the familiar massive multiplayer warfare in dynamic ground and sea battles with air support. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects place you right at the helm of the most powerful war machines of our time, and with one of the most sophisticated vehicle damage models in gaming. Every vehicle in War Thunder is intricately modeled down to its individual valuable components, like engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew, all susceptible to damage or disabling from enemy fire. And not to mention the different types of armor, shells, and missiles behave like their real-world counterparts. Play War Thunder for free on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, or mobile devices right now by using the links in my description or in the pinned comment. And War Thunder has a little treat for any new or returning players that haven't played the game for the last 6 months on PC and console. If this is you, you will also receive a massive bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium accounts. So what are you waiting for? Join a worldwide community of over 95 million players in epic PvP battles today and delve into the breathtaking experience that is War Thunder. With an unmatched wealth of high-quality content to discover, there is no game better suited for fans of military history. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video. We're then introduced to our 3 main characters, or at least some of our main characters here, and one of them is the guy from Sharknado. That's the main character from Sharknado. I didn't find out until 2/3 through the movie. This guy's name is Hunter. Okay? I didn't know that. For this entire script, I wrote him down as Sharknado, but his name is Hunter, so I will refer to him as that. One of them has like a little remote-controlled drone in the water, and they're checking the moorings to make sure that they're all still intact. And I didn't know this at the time, but a mooring is basically like a permanent structure that allows people to like secure their boat to it to prevent them from drifting. It's like a giant like anchor in the ocean. You can like just tie your boat to it. I didn't know that until today, so I learned something new. We're also introduced to this character, Ray, who's like fishing, and he's like, dude, I want to catch the big one. That's like his whole goal in life, is to catch the big one.
Maybe 2 Stone 2 study is the reason why you still haven't caught the big one, Uncle Ray.
Remember that, all right? He wants to catch the big one because it could come up later. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but it could come up later. We get some random back and forth, like little bits of like character development from the 3 of them. And then all of a sudden, there are fireworks being shot out from another random boat.
I think they're breaking every maritime law there is.
Every maritime law there is? What do they have, monkeys performing in knife fights on that boat or something like that? You think every maritime law? They set off some fireworks, man. I count one maritime law. My God, I think I see a couple of monkeys with knives over there. Man, that seems like they're breaking every maritime law there is. Also, they didn't invite us. What the hell? So they go over to the boat to see what the commotion is. And we can see that the boat is on fire. My God. You are surrounded by an entire body of water, and somehow the boat is on fire. So Hunter puts the fire out, and one of the tourists on the dinghy is like,
Who the hell are you?
just the guy that put the fire out on your boat? What do you mean? It would have taken him like 5 minutes to get to that boat. You're telling me in that 5 minutes you couldn't put the fire out? A little thank you would go a long way, man. This character will come back later, so remember his face as well. But basically, they just confiscate the rest of the fireworks, and then they get back on their boat and go on their merry way. And then we cut to a set of binoculars, a binocular cutout shot. So someone's watching these guys. And we can see that a guy with a very red leather jacket is watching them. Kind of ominous. Ray's back there fishing, and he gets a snag, and he's like, oh my God, I think I caught the big one.
It's the big one.
It's the big one. I told you to come back. And it's not a fish. It is a body. A blue body. What the hell? No one's asking why this fucking guy's blue? What the fuck? They just kind of leave it on the floor, and the girl is like, wait, you guys got to look at this.
You guys need to look at this.
And she uses her little fishing drone again, and she looks down, and she can see the blue crack. Not the zombie guy's blue crack, the blue crack in the ocean. Guys, you gotta look at this, dude. This guy's got a fucking blue penis. What the hell? She's like,
Maybe that's where the body came from.
how did you know? What a crazy deduction. Maybe the blue body came from the giant glowing thing at the bottom of the ocean. Really? And then Hunter's like,
That's not good.
That's not good. We gotta tell someone about that. The giant glowing thing? How do you know it's inherently just not good? It's just like a random glowing thing at the bottom of the ocean. Hey, nothing good ever came from a glowing thing at the bottom of the ocean. We gotta warn someone about this. So they start packing up the ship, ready to like go back to land and warn people about the random glowing thing in the ocean. Of course, leaving the dead body they just fished up unattended. Can you guess what's gonna happen? Can you guess what's going to happen to leaving a body like that unattended? Yeah, so it attacks the girl and bites her. So that's what happens, yeah. But hey, maybe she'll be all right. She's definitely dead. This then naturally starts a little bit of a commotion on the boat. Hunter grabs a machete from just like right above where he drives the ship. Just a tactical machete, just in case things like this happen. And he runs down and basically fights the zombie. And by fighting it, I mean he stabs it in the chest a bunch of times with a machete. The thing that's for cutting. But no, he stabs it with it. Hunter thinks that stabbing it in the chest 100 times has killed it, and so he just like leaves the machete in there. And then Ray's like,
Did you kill it?
I think so.
Good.
I think I killed it. But obviously the zombie is not dead and it comes back to attack them, so they push it overboard and then they start heading back to town. Speaking of town, we hard cut back to the town and we are introduced to a mum, her daughter, and like a friend, and they're all talking about how the mother is single. The daughter's like,
Dad's been gone a long time. He'd want you to be happy.
so I'm assuming that she must be widowed. But if I was in this situation as the husband that had died, I personally would want my wife to die alone. That's just me. Yeah, I would not want her to move on. I would not want her to be happy. I would like her to be miserable for the rest of her life until she inevitably passes away. But that's just me. But this conversation is interrupted by Sharknado guy calling the mom. Oh my God. Do I smell a little bit of a love interest here? I think I might. They have like a little bit of casual banter on the phone as if his crewmate didn't just get her neck bitten out by a giant blue man that they fished out of the ocean.
Got an accident on my hands here.
What exactly was accidental about fishing a man out of the ocean and then having him bite your friend and then repeatedly stabbing it with a machete and then pushing it overboard? Whoops, is that an accident? What are we talking about here, man? The mom's like, oh my God, I'll be right there, and ends up leaving the daughter with the friend. And it's like, hey, look after her while I go deal with this accident, in quotes. The mom meets them at the marina and they bring the daughter off the boat and basically explain the situation that happened on it. Conveniently leaving out the part about stabbing the guy with the machete a bunch of times, and, you know, they just say, oh, we threw him overboard.
And then we throw him overboard.
After you stabbed him 50 times with a machete, but yeah, okay. The daughter's then wheeled off to the hospital because apparently the mother is a doctor as well, and Ray goes with them. A police officer shows up and Hunter goes over to talk to him, and we are finally confronted with probably the first reasonable question of this entire film, which is
Is there a reason why you're walking around with the machete?
Hunter then responds,
If you saw what I saw, you'd want one in both hands.
okay, raises some concerns. For sure, if I was a police officer, I'd be like, all right, dude, you are coming in for questioning. That is weird. They get into a bit of an argument about what this was. The police officer's like,
Some kind of sea monster?
and Hunter is like, it was a crazy lunatic, buddy. I've been on the ocean for 30 years and I've never seen anything like this. And then the police officer's like,
I don't have the time to go on a wild goose chase with you.
buddy, whether it was a monster or just a guy, a blue man climbed out of the ocean and bit somebody. I think that warrants at least somewhat of an investigation, does it not? Clearly a lady got bit. Clearly something happened. And then Hunter's like, what's going on out there is a bigger problem. And then points to a slightly bluer part of the ocean. Like really, it's kind of hard to tell what he's pointing at, I'll be honest. Whole ocean's blue. I see slightly more bluish hue there. What's the problem? We got some glow-in-the-dark algae from Nim's Island coming close to the shore? Like, what's the issue? They get out to the patch in the ocean, and the police officer's like,
Where's the body?
buddy, he threw it overboard. It's the ocean. It could be anywhere. It could be at the bottom of the ocean. What kind of a question is that? Hey, buddy, yeah, I see you've taken me out here. Where's the body that you threw overboard? I thought you left it right here, did you not? I don't think that's how that worked. But they come to the conclusion that they need to take a closer look at this glowing patch in the ocean, so they send down the little drone that they had at the start of the movie, and they find out that it's a blue crack, and it's not the ocean floor like I thought at the start of the movie, it's actually a ship. And what's even crazier is that Sharknado over here knows everything about it. The dude is like that guy on TikTok that knows everything about trains and is like super obsessed with them, except for boats. He's basically like, oh my God, it's a very rare ship. Trust me, I grew up around boats. I know boats, you know? Some people know cars, I know boats.
Some people know cars, I know boats.
Some people watch Fast and Furious, I watched Slow and Serious. Some people watch Fast and Furious, I watched Deadliest Catch. Some people watched the F1 movie with Brad Pitt, other people watched Master and Commander with Russell Crowe. Trust me, I'm a boat guy. What can I say?
I know boats.
They explore deeper into the ship and then they see a shadow.
Did you see that?
Did I see what? What, the giant person-shaped shadow? I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it was just a refraction of the light. I can't imagine it's an actual person down there. This is where Hunter then tells the police officer the part of the story he left out before, which is that
I put a machete into the chest of one of these guys today.
he then outright goes, I think I know what they are. It's alive but dead. Come on. You really think that a bunch of Vine influencers are down there? You really think they have the entire server room for Twitter down there and all of the zombies are just AI shit poster bots? You really think Whitney Houston's Facebook account is down there still posting actively even after she's been dead for like 5-6 years? Completely unrelated, but I saw a Whitney Houston slot machine when I was in Vegas. Who the hell is collecting the royalties on that thing? That seems so ethically wrong. If I die, the last thing I want to be is a slot machine. Please do not make a Jackson Field slot machine if I die. Hunter then outright just goes,
These are zombies.
to which the officer laughs, thinking it's a joke. But then a bunch of zombies appear, so it gets real very quickly. They then hit the classic, like, let's get out of here, Scoob! And they head back to the shore and the police officer calls to get the beach evacuated. There's then a second arc that is kind of going on at the same time as this story, following the daughter. And they're watching like a band that they're interested in and they're like partying and the lead singer comes up to the daughter and they start talking and he's like, this isn't really your taste in music, is it?
Not your kind of thing.
And she's like, I don't think it's your taste in music either. To which he's like, oh, thank you. It's not my taste in music. It's Rain's taste in music over here.
Rand's taste is more mallet to the head.
Are we talking about the same guy here? This guy's taste in music is more mallet to the head. Mr. Leather flat cap, leather pants, and some suspenders. His taste in music is mallet to the head. This guy looks like he bought the wrong outfit to Oktoberfest. He looks like one of those models that you would see on like the front of a Halloween costume. He looks like he's about to deliver a telegram to somebody's wife telling them that their husband died on the beaches of Normandy, but in pleather. We then finally find out that the daughter's name is Sam.
Sam.
I mean, we're like 20 minutes in the movie and they only just told me that? Okay, so the daughter's name is Sam. We then cut back to Hunter and he calls the doctor and is like, hey, you better keep Jada in isolation because there could be an outbreak. The beach then all of a sudden just doesn't have water. The water starts retreating, which is never a good sign. This guy's on a megaphone and he's like, clear the beach, seek shelter, as there's just no water on the beach at all and there's just a crowd forming at the beach being like, huh, that's peculiar. There's no water here. That's weird. There's a tsunami siren going off and there's no water in the ocean. This is so weird. They deserve it. They deserve to be wiped out by the zombie tsunami at this point. So at this point, there is a tsunami siren going off. A hunter is in the water on a boat where the tsunami is about to take place. And he's on the phone to the doctor. And she's just talking so casually to him like, oh, hey, if anything happens, can you like check on my daughter? He is literally in the water with the tsunami about to happen. I think somebody else can deal with that. I think he has to focus on surviving this fucking tidal wave. How are they so nonchalant about it? And then to follow this up, Hunter's like, hey man, tsunami's only part of the problem. There's also been an outbreak. I think the tsunami is actually quite a major part of the problem because you're on a boat in the ocean, man. It's just so funny how like inconsequential it feels like the stakes are. Like the characters really aren't that concerned with what's going on. Hunter then starts the boat and he's like, man, what are we going to do about these things? The zombies? And then the police officer's like, what are you going to do about it? Holy shit, it's like some sort of a zombie tidal wave or tsunami, depending on where the movie was released. And before we go any further, I just have one question, more of a statement really, and that is, so you're telling me all of these came from that one ship? Every single one of these zombies came from one ship? What was that, a P&O cruise ship that was crashed down there? How the fuck did this many people go missing without anybody noticing? And how do they fit in that boat? Do they have some sort of a clown car type magic going on down there? Or is this like more of a TARDIS situation where it's just like bigger on the inside? And also, a tsunami? Where did that come from? We then cut back to the daughter and the band who see the tsunami, and we get some of the greatest acting and dialogue I think I've ever seen in a movie. That was sarcasm.
Your mom's gonna have a busy shift. Your dad too.
So I guess we're not getting tacos.
Who is this guy? Why are we letting BDSM Postman Pat follow us around? Okay? This guy's so annoying. Seriously, man. Get him out of here. We then cut back to the ship and the police officer's like, what do you think you're doing? We need to get behind the wave. That wave? The giant tsunami wave that is like 50 times the size of the boat at this point? Yeah, how the fuck are they going to do that? How are they going to get their boat behind that wave? Please explain to me right now. Jarvis, please explain to me how the fuck I'm going to get my boat behind a giant tsunami wave. Oh wait, you can't. So his plan is to ride the barrel of the wave. He's trying to get sponsored by Red Bull, man. You know, he's trying to do something extreme. You know, not all of us can be niche commentary YouTubers that also get sponsored by Red Bull. Some of us have to ride giant zombie tsunami waves, and then I get to commentate on it. And then finally, for some reason, as if this wasn't already the case, he then puts the throttle on, like full speed ahead. Why was it not at full throttle to begin with? Why have you only just decided to put the pedal to the metal, hit the gas, when the wave is at its apex? You'd think a tsunami would give you a sense of urgency there, where you would have it full throttle to begin with. The throttle's just got like a 1 to 10 for speed, and then it's got like an 11, but then it has like a only in case of tsunami zombie tidal wave emergency. And he's like, I never thought I'd have to use this. Puts it into 11. They start racing towards the beach with the wave behind them, and we get an iconic line. The line.
The zombie tsunami.
Oh my God, he said it. He said the name of the film, which makes the title even more confusing, because I swear it's zombie tidal wave, but he said zombie tsunami. I don't get it. I'm still so confused about that. The wave finally hits, and there's people running. It's complete chaos, man. There's bad CGI zombies falling from the sky, falling from waves. One shot of it just heading straight for a car. Those shots, they're all so bad. It's so bad. It does need to be said, just a quick mention, the CGI in this movie, not very good. Okay, let's just get that out of the way right now. Not very good. As per usual with the Asylum films, we don't exactly have the people from Weta working on this. You know, there's not going to be Lord of the Rings level CGI, but that's fine. You know, it's par for the course with these films. Hunter and the police officer seal themselves inside the boat, shut the door, and a wave hits the boat side on, which I'm no expert here, but I think that would definitely capsize the boat. I feel like a wave hitting your boat side on is kind of like the worst way that you could get hit. But what do I know? I didn't even know what a mooring was. So maybe they'll be fine. We'll then get some shots of the completely destroyed beach, and the zombies start to get up. And they start shambling towards the town. And then the Sharknado over here and the cop are just also on the beach wandering too, as if nothing happened. Where did the ship go? How the fuck how did they survive? How are they there right now? They're walking around like nothing happened, completely unscathed. Like, man, tsunamis, am I right, dude? Just another Tuesday in Thailand, I guess. Oh, that's so funny. This random girl and her husband wake up, and I didn't know who they were at the time, but this is actually the couple that was on that boat at the start of the film that was setting off the fireworks. And the girl's like,
Sean didn't make it.
who the fuck is Sean? Am I supposed to know who that is at this point in the film? Who is that? I don't even know the police officer's name, and I'm supposed to know who Sean is? I watched the whole movie and I still don't know who the police officer is. I don't know what his name is. The guy's like, hey.
But we did, baby. That's all that matters.
And then she gets angry and walks off, and he's like,
Hey, look, if there was ever a time to celebrate, this is it.
which, honestly, I'm kind of on his side with this one. Yeah, I know, unpopular opinion, but I mean, he's kind of got a point here. You just survived a tsunami, man. I think you need to count your blessings. We go back to the hospital, and the mum gives Ray a mask, and we kind of get, dare I say, a little bit of back and forth about mask policy. A little bit.
What I saw out there, it's gonna take more than this to kill him.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I might actually agree with the anti-masker here. I think Ray might be onto something. I think masks are gonna do fuck all unless they're on the zombies themselves to stop them from biting you, man. So, you know, we then get more beach chaos, you know, zombies getting out of the ocean, people trying to help the zombies. For some reason, they're clearly very blue and have like barnacles on them, and people are like, we gotta give this guy CPR. Hey man, this guy just came out of that big fucking tsunami with all those zombies on it. We gotta save this guy. And obviously they start eating people. Yeah, shocker. Who would have seen that coming? Yeah, let's try and help the clearly blue dead people with barnacles on them. That's a great idea. The zombies then start attacking everybody, and Hunter and the police officer pin one of them down, and Hunter's like,
See what I'm talking about here?
and then the police officer goes,
Zombies it is.
and just shoots it in the head. Imagine if it wasn't zombies. Thank God it is, but I mean, it would be crazy if he was wrong in this situation. Everything blows over. They find out they're not zombies, and they interview the police officer, and he's like, I really thought they were zombies. I just shot all of them. We then come back to the daughter and the friends, and they see a bunch of people with blood just like walking around as people are like running away from them. And then the first person asks a semi-reasonable question, what's wrong with their faces? To which the response is, the tsunami must have messed them up. To which 1920s extra read all about it male boy wearing leather goes,
What if those things get up here?
those things. Buddy, at this point, you don't even know they're zombies. A tsunami just happened and they have blood on them. It's a natural disaster at this point in your head. You haven't seen a single person be eaten by a zombie yet. And you automatically go, what if those things get up here, bro? What if those injured citizens get up here? That's kind of, I don't want them up here. If you couldn't tell, not a big fan of this guy. But they decide to get out of there. Honestly, smartest choice they've made all movie. We then get lots of gruesome shots of like zombies eating people. That actually looks really good. This is like definitely one of the better parts of the movie, which I can't show on YouTube for pretty obvious reasons. I'll probably get demonetized. But the gore looks really good, which is a massive part of zombie movies. So it's great to see they got this correct. And Hunter and the police officer start killing zombies on the beach. Old Hunter judo flips one of the zombies. It looks like super cool. And then he spots some people over at a boat that are getting surrounded by zombies and he has to save them. So what does he do? Does he A, use his machete to cut up the zombies? B, tell the people to run while they still can because the zombies are like super slow? Or C, does he throw his machete on the ground, get onto the boat, and then start the motor and use the propeller to cut the zombies up? It's the last one. Yeah, that's exactly what he does. We get a bunch of shots of the motor just killing all of the zombies. And honestly, thank God the liquid is blue because one of these shots would have looked really weird if it was any other color. One of them, again, which I'm pretty sure I can't show on YouTube, clearly turns into a jelly mannequin. And it's really funny as like the propeller goes through them. And it looks like one of those like slow-mo shots you would see on Mythbusters or Forged in Fire or something like that. It's pretty good. Once this whole scenario is over, I would definitely have some concerns about the mental stability of some of these people. The fact that his first idea was to use a boat propeller to rip the faces off of all of these zombies is definitely cause for concern. I think he needs to speak to someone. There seems to be some kind of like undisclosed trauma there. The girl that got bit at the start of the movie wakes up in hospital and she says she's cold.
So cold.
And then she says she's hungry.
So hungry.
And then she clears her throat and it sounds definitely like a zombie. Can you guess what's going to happen next? Yeah, she dies instantly. Literally like after saying those things, dies instantly, comes back completely looking like a zombie. What the hell? The transformation was like that so fast. Naturally, she attacks Ray, but he manages to escape and she ends up biting a doctor instead. And there's like a few shots where I swear to God, she does not have makeup on at all. And then it like cuts back to her and she does have makeup again. So it's very confusing. This poor doctor or nurse or whatever it was, like I feel so bad for them. They had no idea what was coming. There's a lot of chopping and changing between scenes in this movie, but we cut back to Hunter and the police officer and they flee the beach and go for Ray's truck. They get in the truck and then they hear a rustling in the back seat. I mean, come on, man. Have none of these people seen Zombieland? Rule number 87, check the back seat. Remember that rule? Rule number 88, shoot Bill Murray in the chest with a shotgun. Remember that one? But it turns out it's not zombies. It's actually the couple we saw before. The fireworks ones. We then get some general back and forth dialogue, giving us the vibe that the husband is just a douchebag and the wife is just like, yeah, I don't like this guy anymore.
I'm sorry, he's an idiot. Can you please help us?
And they all agree, pretty smart idea to just get out of there. Pretty reasonable.
So buckle up, sweetheart. They're coming.
Actually, they're already here. They're already here. The zombies aren't coming. They are here. Just right outside the car. So it would be best if you guys just leave. Also, how did they get into the back seat in the first place? Was the car unlocked? Is that something you do in Thailand? You just leave your car unlocked? How did they make it in there without a set of keys? And if they did have a set of keys, why did they not just drive off? Anyway, back at the hospital, the mother sees the zombie girl and starts running. But lucky for her, Ray just grabs her and pulls her into a cupboard like Batman from Arkham Asylum or something like that. This guy's definitely played a lot of stealth games in his life. He's definitely played every single Metal Gear Solid game. But he basically pulls her into this room and closes the door and then they're safe. They then have like a second mask argument for some reason.
Unless you plan on tying their mouth shut, this is not gonna get.
Like, what possible implication does this have for the whole rest of the plot? Honestly, I can't see it having any implication at all, but they eventually agree that, you know what, maybe we don't need to wear a mask. Ray's got to be the first person ever to have convinced a doctor to not wear a mask. It's honestly impressive. This guy should get into politics. Ray also hits her with like the coldest line in this entire movie.
Move right to acceptance, Doc. Because denial is a death sentence.
That is a sick line. I'm going to write that one down. I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I know when the time comes, I'm going to be glad that I did. The truck finally arrives at the police station and we are introduced to the deputy. They all start to run inside, but then Hunter spots, dude, there's more zombies and they're coming right this way. There's a ton of them. Like at least 20 of them. In fact, I think that is 3 groups of the same zombies. No, it definitely is. They all have plaid shirts too. I can see multiples of the same person in that crowd of like 20 people. There is a disproportionately large amount of zombies that have plaid shirts as well, by the way. It's so funny. Oh man, I love low budget movies. So they all run into the station and the couple starts running there as well, but whoa, zombie jump scare. Oh my God. And he just kind of like stands there for a second, and instead of just walking past the zombie and going inside, the husband decides to push the wife into the crowd of zombies, and they eat her. He just goes, yeah, sorry. Just pushes her. I was not expecting that. That was honestly a dark twist that I did not see coming from a movie like this. I respect it. The zombies in the hospital just like all wake up at the same time. It's like their nap time is over. The alarm has gone off. It's back to work. It's back to eating people's brains. And Ray and the mum barricade the door with clearly just very light chairs, like very not good barricade material at all. And of course, naturally, the zombies just kind of push past it straight away and they run. And they run off. But back at the police station, the guys lock the door and then they confront the guy. Like, what the hell were you thinking? Pushing your wife like that? That's so messed up. To which he says,
I'm gonna do everything it takes to survive, including this.
And takes the pistol from the deputy? What the fuck? Why? They are all in this together. What could have possibly compelled him to do that? You're literally barricaded away safe in a police station with a bunch of officers that also have guns, and you're like, I gotta do anything I can to survive. I'm gonna shoot every other person in this room. Makes no sense. Genuinely makes no sense at all. Imagine doing that in an actual zombie game. Imagine you're on like round 40 in Call of Duty Zombies and you're getting absolutely swarmed by the horde and you go, I need to do anything to survive. So you just throw a grenade on your friend and kill them. What did that achieve? But literally nothing. Literally nothing. We then get a beautiful exchange of lines here.
You got some balls, kid.
I got bullets too.
Awesome line. Wow, what a comeback. Now, apparently what prompted this is he wants the keys to the gun room to grab some bigger guns, which to me makes no sense because they probably would have just unlocked that thing anyway if he had waited, I don't know, 5 minutes? Like, he's not the only one there that wants to survive this thing and wants a gun. They probably would have given him one if he didn't go crazy. And of course, there's like this whole standoff, and then the sheriff gives like a nod to the deputy to be like, take him out. Like, this is your chance. Like, take him out now. But ends up just getting the deputy killed straight away. He just gets shot and killed straight away in cold blood. Nice work, man. Why did he pump the shotgun? Was the shotgun not already pumped? Why do they do that in movies? They just pump the thing constantly. You don't need to keep pumping it. Fuck. Pump that thing more than me when I'm alone on a cold, lonely night. This then prompts Hunter to look at the shotgun. He's like, I gotta go for that shotgun to kill this kid. And rather than just shooting Hunter, the guy just goes for the shotgun first for some reason. Like, he has a gun in his hand, but he's like, I'm gonna go and grab the other gun before he can get it. You could have just shot it. And obviously, Sharknado picks up a snow globe and just hits him over the head with it and knocks him out. Super weird writing there. Really just a completely unnecessary scene. The deputy then dies like a brutal death, choking on his own blood. And the sheriff tries to close the deputy's eyes. But then they just kind of like open up again. He's like, shh. Shh. It feels like it's been a really long time at this point, but we finally cut back to the daughter's group, Sam, and they're leaving and they all have weapons. Or at least, I don't know what really constitutes as a weapon. I mean, they've got a pool cue, a guitar, a tiki torch, and a fucking mic stand. Fuck me. These guys, they're all gonna die. They're all gonna die. A few zombies come and they start running. And also, just as an editor, it is so funny to hear the sound design because I actually have a lot of the sound effects that they're using in this movie and I know exactly where they got them from. And they play the same impact sound effects multiple times in a row.
Hey, wait.
It is just funny to be like, huh, I have that in my library. In fact, I'm gonna play it right now. So they keep running away from the zombies and Guitar Guy rolls his ankle, like really convincingly too. Like, kudos to the actor for this one. I was gonna bring up like a whole rant on like, what is it with people in movies and rolling their ankles all the time? But I just remembered a time like 2 months ago where I rolled my ankle like really, really badly to the point where I couldn't really walk on it when I was climbing. by jumping from about this high. Literally, I was right next to the ground and somehow landed on my ankle, completely rolled it, destroyed my ankle for like a month. So honestly, it's not as unrealistic as you would expect. They all start sneaking through this like warehouse market kind of area with zombies all around. And finally, somebody out there has been hearing my prayers because they finally got Pleather Peaky Blinders guy. The zombies bit him. Thank God. Hey, that guy doesn't look infected. Oh, wait, no, he screamed, so maybe he is. Oh, and he's biting people. Okay. Imagine if that zombie was just like a regular guy that started eating people. He just saw like all the other zombies going around eating people and he was like, yeah, finally, man, I've been waiting for this moment. And then he just... Nothing more terrifying than a completely normal guy in a zombie apocalypse that also just happens to eat people. Amongst all this commotion, the daughter and the friend she was with at the start get split up, and the daughter, Sam, ends up going with the guitarist that rolled his ankle. Back at the police station, the guy that shot the deputy is handcuffed next to his dead corpse. Kind of crazy. And we find out that the police officer might know a little bit more than he's leading on. He grabs out a document from a safe and then shreds it. Oh, shit. The plot thickens. Also, it was in the safe, so you probably could have just left it in there. It's not like anyone else knew the combination. Did you really have to shred it? Also, that thing is dated like 1981, yet it looks like it was made that day. That safe must have been like vacuum sealed. How is that thing not aged at all? That thing is like Bilbo Baggins. It must have the one ring in it or something like that, because it has not aged a day. Hunter is on a computer doing some internet sleuthing about the ship and says that none of this adds up.
The key to all this is a ship. If we can find one person who knows something about it, maybe we can get some answers.
If only there was one guy that knew anything about this situation. If only there was like some document that somebody had in a safe that was explaining exactly what was going on at this current moment. Sheriff? Want to chime in here? No? Okay. We cut back to the two in the hospital, and this part is by far one of the funniest parts of the movie. They get into the next building, and as they turn around, there is a one-legged zombie in a wheelchair who's just banging on the chair because he's tied to it. Like literally the least menacing zombie you can possibly get. Nothing even happens in this scene. They just sneak past the zombie like it doesn't even attack them. It is the least dangerous zombie by far. But Ray turns around and his daughter Jada is following them. And they lock themselves in another room. They love locking themselves in rooms, man. That's just like... Half this movie is like, and then they saw a zombie, so they ran and locked themselves in a room, and then devised a plan to leave the room to get to another room, to then lock themselves in it. Genius, man. It's genius writing, honestly. The boys back at the police station decide they need to get some firepower, and so they open a safe, and there are a bunch of like random weapons in it. The police officer says they got most of them from like drug boats and narco planes, which is cool and all, but my question is, what happened to the other weapons room that we saw just moments earlier with all the assault rifles in it? The one that the guy shot the deputy to get into? Where is that one? This is a completely different room. Also, the Sharknado guy picks up a double-bladed machete and chooses that as his weapon of choice over his single-bladed machete that he's had up to this point. What? It's the same thing. It is the same thing, if not worse. It is also shorter than his original machete, so it definitely is just an objectively worse weapon. Why? What is it with zombie movies and being like,
what is the craziest, most unique weapon that we can use to kill the zombies in this? What if it was a regular machete, but then it had a second blade on it?
Oh my God, what? That's fucking crazy. Oh my God, like Darth Maul, like a double machete?
No. Two blades coming out of the same direction.
You guys are the most useless shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. They then get all kitted up with riot shields, and holy shit, he's got a bazooka. What the fuck? Where did he get the bazooka from? That's just been sitting in the police station the whole time? Are there not proper authorities that can dispose of this kind of stuff? The hell does he have that thing for? They decide to leave old mate handcuffed as well, by the way, just full cold-blooded shit, but he totally deserves it. They push the zombies back with the riot shields, and we get the same shot of the zombies that we saw before. Literally the exact same one. And then he uses the bazooka to blow them up. that really happens. And we get like an after shot of the devastation. And it's pretty funny because we can actually see they use the exact same shot because we can see the tsunami full of zombies still in the background. Or at least that's what I thought. Because apparently there is now a second tsunami. And nobody seems very concerned about this. They're just like, Reinforcements?
Reinforcements.
2 tsunamis in a row? What the fuck is this?
Because one would have been too easy.
How are there 2 tsunamis happening in the span of 10 minutes of each other? And again, I know I've said it before, but how many fucking zombies were on that one ship to warrant another full tsunami full of zombies again? That's so crazy. 2 tsunamis, man. 1 tsunami's bad enough. But 2 tsunamis? That's too many. That's 1 too many tsunamis. 2 too many, in some people would say. We then cut to the forest with the daughter's friend that we haven't seen in a while, and she is running from the zombies with her little pool cue, and she sees a mansion on the mountain and heads for it. Remember that. It is in the distance, on a mountain. She's running towards it. It is quite a while away. This next scene, just this whole sequence that we will be cutting back and forth to, is by far the funniest part of the entire movie. Tiki Torch daughter and guitar guy are running from the zombies, and they end up finding a van in the car park, which just so happens to have the drummer from their band inside of it. So they wake him up and they get into the van, and for some reason he gets out.
What's wrong with it?
What are you doing?
Rock and roll, baby!
And he pulls out some drumsticks. Great question. What are you doing, Ivan? You wake up in the middle of a zombie apocalypse and the first thing you do is get out of the van and pull out your drumsticks? Also, what the fuck is his outfit, dude? A sleeveless suit? Jesus Christ, man. You know what? Forget about it. Let Ivan do what he wants to do. I do not want to see that sleeveless suit for another scene. So if he dies now, that'd be great. He then uses his drumsticks to start fighting the zombies like a Temu daredevil. And as you can imagine, immediately gets eaten by them. He gets bitten straight away. And the 2 in the car just shut the door, just completely abandon him before he even gets bitten, mind you. They're just like, oh, sorry, well, and then just shut the door. So the 2 of them are locked in the van. There's like 5 zombies surrounding the van, so they're pretty much fucked in this universe. The musician's like,
You have to find a way out. You'll move faster without me.
she goes, what are you gonna do? And he says,
I'm gonna get their attention.
so he climbs out the side of the window and she goes, wait, take this, and passes him a ukulele. Really, Doug? A ukulele? Here, make sure you take this. Violin. And at first I was like, really? A ukulele as a weapon? What the hell is he gonna do with that? And then he gets on the roof and starts playing the fucking ukulele and singing to distract the zombies. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Why? It's not like he's distracting the zombies from her. He's just making noise, drawing the zombies to the van, which she is still inside of. Literally no point to what is happening right now. Don't worry, I'll use these firecrackers to distract them, and then throws the firecrackers directly at where they are. What was that going to achieve? Anyway, luckily, by some divine intervention, the dad arrives at the exact same time as this, and she gets out and starts running towards him while the police officer covers her by shooting the zombies. She makes it to him.
We gotta go get him. Hey, here,
We'll get it.
And as he says this, ukulele guy is immediately eaten by a zombie on top of the van. The zombie just comes up behind him, eats him. Did nobody see that? Could they not have warned him? That couldn't have come out of nowhere. They were all looking at him. Old police officer's still on his gun, presumably still, shooting zombies. Could he not have saved that kid? I think it was on purpose. They get into the car and they're driving off, and Hunter's like,
It's gonna be all right.
and she says,
He's dead because of me.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could have just stayed in the van for an extra 10 seconds until they arrived and you both would have survived. So yeah, it was kind of was your fault, really. Now, pool cue lady, the one that was running towards the mountain in the distance that had the mansion on it. Yes, so she's already made it to the top of the mountain. What the fuck? She makes it to the top of the mountain, tries to get in, and we see that there is like a guy clearly studying the zombies, watching her through the cameras. After a little bit of back and forth of him being like, are you bit? And she's like, no, of course I'm not bit. He lets her in. And oh my God, it is red leather jacket guy. Who would have seen that coming? He says that he has cameras all around town and that everybody was infected in less than an hour. So basically the whole town is dead. They're all zombies, according to this guy. She borrows her radio and calls her dad, which it just so happens to be the police officer. She tells him that she's at the compound at the top of the hill, and he's like,
Driscoll's? I told you never to go near that place. He's crazy.
Yeah.
that interaction right there, that would hurt my feelings. If I was standing there listening to all of that on loudspeaker and someone like talking shit about me like right there, I'd be pretty upset.
Oh, Driscoll? Oh,
man, he's a freak, dude. Dude, his breath stinks. He's weird looking. I remember in primary school, he pooped his pants, actually. He actually pooped his pants. I remember that. He's stinky. I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust my drink around him.
Yeah, I'm still here. Actually, I'm actually here. I can hear everything you're saying. Hunter and the police officer arrive at the hospital looking for the mum. They get inside and Sam's like, I need to get to the nurse's station and I can only do it alone because you guys will slow me down because I know every inch of this place. You guys don't know every inch of this place. So by you following right behind me, you'll slow me down, apparently. So, which, okay, sure. Always a great idea to split up in these types of movies. So because of this, Hunter goes, here, take my double machete. You're gonna need it, trust me. And she reluctantly grabs it, probably because it's a fucking terrible weapon. And she runs down the hospital hallway because apparently the coast is cleared.
Coast is clear.
Then locks herself in the cleaner's closet with like a telephone. And honestly, for those 10 seconds, I just fucking hit my knee. Oh God, that hurts so much. Oh my God, my fucking knee. Oh God, that hurts so much. Ah, fuck. As I was saying, and for about 10 seconds, she was correct. The coast was clear, but unfortunately, zombies come out right after this, and there's a lot of them. Hunter then grabs a fire extinguisher, and we get a little back and forth between Hunter and the police officer.
Patients are getting restless.
Time for the medicine.
What is he gonna do with a fire extinguisher? I mean, seriously, he sprays them with it, and they actually go back. Okay, what the fuck? All right, yeah, sure. Sure, dude. The daughter gets on the phone and makes an announcement to the mum, and somehow the phone cord gets wrapped around her leg, and I'm assuming a zombie on the other side of the door pulls the cord and then starts pulling her towards the door. Seriously, what's the worst that's going to happen here? You go slightly closer to the door, they literally cannot open it. So nothing bad is going to happen. But she freaks out as if she's about to die. The guys continue working through the zombies, working their way to her to try and save her. And Hunter gets the genius idea to pull a couple of cables out of an X-ray machine and shock the zombies with it. The elevator at the end of the hall opens up and it's Ray and the mum. Oh my God, let's go. This kind of also brings up a little bit of a weird plot hole. Like, why was Hunter so confident that the mum and Ray weren't already dead? Why was he so confident that those two specifically were still alive in the hospital? They could have very well have just been some of those zombies. There's not any confirmation leading up to this point. They were just like, let's go to the hospital, let's grab those two. I'm sure they're main characters, they have plot armor, they would have survived. So they all meet up, it's so great, and then the mum doctor is like,
Hang on, these ones are different. Looks like these guys were experimented on.
really? What gave that away? Was it the fact that they're bright fucking blue? No shit. Looks like they were experimented on. Indicated by their bright blue skin and their weird fucking teeth and the fact that they're freaking zombies. Does that it's not something that just happens. Oh, so stupid. They all escape in the truck and they end up at the mansion fort thing. And we find out the police officer actually hiding a little scratch he got. Oh no, that's not good. They all notice it and Driscoll, the orange leather jacket guy's like, hey, I'm not gonna let you in if you were bit. And then he goes, I wasn't bit. And he goes, all right, fine, you can come in.
No biters in the house. I said I wasn't bitten.
Really put up a massive fight for that one. They ask if they can use the radio downstairs for help, and Driscoll's like,
Don't mess up anything on my desk.
like what? There's fucking 3 things on the entire desk. Like, all right. All this commotion and talking on the radio and new guest, though, disturbs the zombie that's strapped down on the table downstairs in the basement. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, that's still down there. And the officer hears the banging and he starts to investigate. So he goes into the room, sees the bed's empty. Uh-oh. Where do you think the zombie is? Do you think it's behind him? It's behind him. Yeah, they get into a scuffle and he actually gets bit. No, the scratch wasn't a bite, but it doesn't matter because he got bit anyway. Fuck. The zombie then comes upstairs, pushes past both dudes that do absolutely nothing to stop it for some reason. And then Driscoll shocks it and it basically dies instantly.
Thanks, Driscoll. No problem.
Corny as hell, man. Don't ever do that again. The police officer's still alive, though, and he comes up showing his bite and says sorry. His daughter starts crying. Everyone's like, fuck, he just got bit, dude. That sucks. In the next scene, we see Hunter attaching a taser to the double machete blade weapon. Is that the same taser? Is that a spare taser? How did he get old mate to give that up when it's clearly such an effective weapon? Like, where did this thing come from? They all come to the conclusion that electricity is the most effective way to kill them, as seen in the hospital and with the taser just before. And that's why Hunter is pulling this like full-on Dead Island and combines the taser and the double machete to make an electric blade. Like, okay. Sure, dude. Yeah, whatever. Well, I don't care. Plan time. It's the part of the movie where they devise a plan. They remember that there's a bunch of downed power lines from the tsunami, so they use their intellect and decide that they're going to use the tidal pools that are on the beach to conduct the electricity, draw the zombies into the water, and then turn the electricity on and kill all the zombies. Mind you, just before Driscoll said the entire town turned in less than an hour, so you're telling me you're going to pull the entire townsfolk of zombies, thousands of them, to a few tidal pools and electrocute them? Sure, whatever, cool. And then they also need to go out to the ship and blow that up as well. How do we blow up the ship, you might ask? Well, Driscoll is like, check this shit, and just pulls out a bunch of C4 from his cupboard. What the hell? Who is this guy? Where did you get the C4 from? There is so much of an astronomical amount of C4. Driscoll initially is hesitant to help, but they all kind of go, you are literally the only person that knows how to use C4. You have so much of it, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, that's fair enough. I guess I'll help. So with the plan devised, they're ready to get out of there.
I'll clear a path and we'll all make a run for it.
I don't know why they don't just open the gate, jump in the car and drive off. Who's to say? I mean, they could just do that, but instead, no, they need an excuse for a fight scene, I suppose. Hunter tries to turn on the machete, but it doesn't work, probably because he just duct taped a taser to a fucking machete. Of course, it's not gonna work. And then the mum, like, instinctively knows that he's in trouble and is like,
His taser isn't working. He needs my help.
so she grabs the pool cue and does just that. And it turns out for some reason there's just a wood chipper out there. Can you guess what they're going to do with the wood chipper? Yeah, they turn it on and then they start pushing all the zombies into the wood chipper. It's gruesome shit. They like tag team all of these zombies together. The whole scene is like in slow-mo. It's like some 300 shit. And the last zombie that they kill kind of like knows what's coming and you can see the fear in his eyes. But the two of them just give a nod like, yeah, let's do this together. And they push him in anyway. I'm starting to think that these zombies are sentient. I don't think they're zombies at all. The look that zombie gave tells a very different story. But after the zombies are dealt with, they all run out the gate, and I still don't know why they didn't take the car, but okay, they run out of the gate. As they're walking, the police officer stops and starts coughing up blood. Okay, he hasn't turned yet, but he's close. He takes off his badge and throws it to Hunter, and he's like, "Town's in your hands, Hunter." We then get the full lore dump of what he's been hiding this entire time. What was in that brand new document that he shredded up. He tells them that a pharmaceutical company came in 30 years ago and said that they were making new strides in an anti-aging drug. But they needed to test it on humans away from FDA scrutiny. And his job was basically to make sure that it stayed off the radar and they paid him for it. And they also made sure that his wife had the best medical treatment before she passed. Okay, that's actually, surprisingly, that's actually a very reasonable motive. So good job, writers. That's pretty good. And by the time all the townsfolk knew what they were doing, they'd already shipped out all the patients and staff, and in the back of his mind, he knew that they sunk the ship. But then we get another twist, a very classic twist in the horror genre involving zombies. It's honestly not that much of a twist at all. The Dr. Mom is like,
You're not seeing the bigger play here. The trials actually worked. Those patients' hideous reactions were not side effects. They were the desired effects.
Classic weaponize the population plot, you know, worth more than an anti-aging drug. That it's a bioweapon they can sell on the black market bullshit. It's one of those plots, basically. Zombies somehow find them. Literally don't know how they found them all the way up in this mountain in a cave by the looks of it, but they did. And then Hunter goes, I got this. And suddenly the machete works. And everybody collectively agrees to follow his advice and leave him to kill like a bunch of zombies alone. But they all have weapons. They all were just like, yeah, okay, yeah, you got this? All right, let's run. You could have helped. Dude, one of them literally runs away with a shotgun. He's like, wait, no, I was joking. Wait, no, I actually do need help. Oh, he handles all the zombies pretty well until one of them knocks him to the ground. And it looks like it might all be over for Hunter. But luckily, Driscoll saves him with one of those crazy fucking compressed air knives that blows up sharks' fucking heads. I'm pretty sure they're illegal. And Hunter just goes, wasp knife.
Wasp knife?
Yeah.
Got another?
Have this one. Don't you have enough toys already?
No.
What? Where did he even get one of these from? Also, those knives, I'm pretty sure, only work once. They use a compressed air canister and then you've got to reload them. So he's already used, technically, the one go that you get with that gun. Anyway, they leave the police officer because he dies, but then he comes back as a zombie and walks out. Nobody in this movie does the whole mercy kill thing for some reason when anybody turns into a zombie. They're just like, oh, he's a zombie now. All right, let's just leave him. What the hell? And they turn around and see he has a grenade? Dude has a grenade in his hand. And he just growls and then drops it and fucking blows up. Was he sentient? I'm really starting to question whether or not these zombies are zombies or they're actual human beings that are just infected. That seemed like a pretty sentient thing to do. I'm starting to think with all this new information that one blue zombie they kicked into the wood chipper was sentient and he did fear going in that thing, which changes the whole tone of this entire movie. They get to the boat and Hunter's like,
What about the ones still up at your house?
and then Driscoll's like,
You didn't think I took all the C4 with me, did you?
and then blows up his own fucking house. Blows up his entire own fucking house. What? Did he have that rigged the entire time? Who is this guy? Has he been living in that house for 20 years with C4 lining the entire house? This guy's crazy. I mean, it's a good thing he's on their side, but this guy is so unstable. They then split up. Hunter, the mum, and the daughter go together to kill the zombies with the tidal pool idea, and the rest of them on the boat go to blow up the other boat. That's the whole thing. They reach the power lines and open the switchboard, and look, I'm no electrician, but wait, no? Actually, I am an electrician. That's right. Forgot about that. And he says,
Fuses blew and the lines went down. I can make the down power lines active again.
first of all, those are not fuses, okay? They're three-phase circuit breakers with what looks like contactors. And if I can just say so, this switchboard is labeled beautifully, okay? It's not the Australian coloring convention, as they are obviously in Thailand, but all the phases are colored and labeled. It's a beautiful switchboard, not gonna lie. Anyway, he then puts the cables in the water, and I genuinely don't know how the breakers wouldn't just immediately trip again, because they tripped in the first place, so I'd imagine putting them in the water would do the exact same thing. But also, by the same token, I don't know how there could be 2 zombie tsunamis in a row. So by this movie's logic, sure, that is the least of my worries. Hunter then is like, I gotta be bait, man. I gotta Pied Piper these zombies into these tidal pools before you flick the switch. So he gets on a tuk-tuk and plays music, and somehow he's gonna get every single zombie in the entire town into this one tidal pool to kill them. All right. I'd love to see it. At the same time, the people on the boat arrive at the ship that they want to blow up. And Driscoll reluctantly agrees to be the guy that scuba dives down and plants the C4. The fact that he's going to scuba dive in the first place is fucking crazy, because there are very clearly zombies all around the boat. He gets in a full scuba diving getup and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to swim down there and just like blow the shit up. No, you are not, man. He then gets in the water and they're immediately like, Driscoll, get out of the water. There's zombies in there. Move.
Driscoll, get out the water! Move!
Like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? They were everywhere this entire time. We could see them. And you're suddenly shocked that there are zombies in the water, and then they fucking eat Driscoll. No! Who would have seen this coming? Probably everybody. I saw this coming. What did you think was going to happen? Driscoll just gets fucking immediately eaten as soon as he's in the water. It's so sad. It is so unfortunate. He didn't even want to get in the water. For good reason, too. Back on land, the tuk-tuk gets stuck. The thing that weighs probably 50 kilos collectively gets stuck in about an inch of sand. To which then Hunter is attacked by a giant zombie. A big boy zombie. The machete, of course, doesn't work again. As per usual, it hasn't worked for most of this movie. But he just goes to town anyway. And this zombie, definitely more than just a zombie, because he like grabs and kicks at one point, and they have like a proper fight. Like, this zombie has definitely done some martial arts at some point. The mum goes over to help and immediately gets the tuk-tuk unstuck, so it really wasn't that hard, apparently, and just drives it into the tidal pool. Hunter is still fighting the zombie at this point and uses the wasp knife to blow its arm off and then starts hitting it with its own arm. There's one point where he chokes it with its own arm. Somehow, like, the hand is still squeezing and chokes the zombie with his own arm. It's pretty awesome. His machete ends up working again, and he cuts his head off, and they turn the switch on and they kill all 20 zombies in the entire town, basically saving the whole island. Was it a problem in the first place? I don't know. Back on the boat, Ray puts a life vest on the girl and tells her to jump in the water and swim away because he's going to stay on the ship and activate the C4. So the plan changes and they attach the C4 to the anchor and throw the anchor down to the ship to blow it up. I don't know why they didn't just do this plan in the first place. It seems way better than jumping in the water with a scuba set, but wait, whatever. Hindsight's a bitch, am I right? And then Ray calls up Hunter and just has the most devastating line. I told you guys to remember this one.
I'm about to kiss the big one.
It all comes back around. I like that. I like when movies do that. He caught the big one, dude. And then he presses the button and blows himself up and the boat. Dies. Kills himself. And now you would think that's it. But no. The C4 creates a third fucking tsunami. There are 3 tsunamis now in this movie. Is the daughter that had the life jacket just gonna ride the wave or something like that? What's she doing? How did she not get mauled by zombies swimming away like old Driscoll? Hunter runs naturally because the tsunami is chasing him and gets stuck at the ladder that gets off the beach. And we see the water hitting. Oh my God, is he gonna survive? I hope so. And yeah, he survives and he meets up with the mother and the daughter. And somehow 3 tsunamis and this pier is still intact. Honestly, kudos to the engineers. Can we get a round of applause for them? That's impressive. While they're on the pier having their nice little reunion, the girl in the life jacket also arrives. She just so happens to swim to the pier as well. And Hunter is like,
What about Ray?
what about Ray? What do you mean? You were on the radio with him when he pressed the button and blew the boat up. What do you think happened, man? He's dead. You saw his boat explode, man. Why are you acting disappointed like that? Like, oh, damn. Really thought he survived that. No shit, he's fucking dead. And that's pretty much the end. They kiss in front of all the dead bodies in the ocean. That would stink so bad. It would smell so bad. And credits roll. And holy shit, those credits are so fast. I am not speeding that up at all. That's literally how fast they are going. I've never seen credits that fast in my life, which is so weird because it's such a small cast and crew too. So it really did not need to go that fast at all. And there you have it. That was Zombie Tsunami. Honestly, the movie was terrible, but making a movie is hard, so just making one in general is just impressive in and of itself. And I'm assuming the budget was very low, so they did a good job. I don't know, still the worst zombie movie I've ever watched in my life, but I suggest you guys go check it out, especially with friends. These movies are always so much fun to watch with others. I watched it by myself, and as you can imagine, it was a pretty miserable time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, leave a comment of a little wave emoji, a tsunami emoji if you will, or a tidal wave emoji depending on what geolocation you have. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.